Hey guys, welcome to Think Troops. In today's video, let's look at objects and fields in Salesforce. Let's look at our agenda today. So we'll see what are objects in Salesforce, what are the different types of objects that are available in Salesforce, and how to create a field. And let's also do a lab exercise where I will show you like how to create an object and how to create a field and what are the different types of fields that we have in Salesforce. So let's dive in. So what is an object? So object is nothing but a database table in Salesforce. So let's take an example there. So let's say your company has 10 customers and you want to store details of those 10 customers. So what do we have to do? So first we need to have an object where we'll create a record, and each record will hold the details of one single customer. So let's take this as an example. So John, so this record will have all the details of John. In the same way, this record will have all the details of James. Let's dive a little more in. If you look at this example, this whole table is called an object, and each row contains details of a single customer. So each row is called a record, and each column is called a field. So Salesforce gives us an option of creating an object and creating fields so that you can store details of your customer or anything like that. So by now you should know what a field is. Let's go back again. So each column in a table is called a field. So Salesforce gives us an option of creating custom fields in the object, but it also automatically creates a couple of standard fields which will be helpful in future. I'll show in our lab exercise, I'll show you in detail what the standard fields does and what are the custom fields. Now let's look at the different types of objects that are present in Salesforce. So there are mainly three kinds. First one, standard object. Second one, custom object. Third one is external object. So what is a standard object? So standard objects are the objects which are already present in Salesforce platform when you're creating it. What do you mean by that? So let's say you're creating a developer org or creating a Salesforce org. So you will be seeing couple of objects which are available to access on the go. So these are all the objects which come under standard objects. For example, account object. So account object is an object where we will store the details of customer or partner or let's say any other organization. Now the second one is custom objects. So Salesforce provides us with standard objects, right? But why do we need a custom object? So there might be a scenario where our business goals or business model cannot fit or cannot run just using standard objects. That's where custom objects come in. So custom objects is used to extend and customize the Salesforce objects to meet all the needs that cannot be achieved using standard objects. Let's take an example. Let's take a courier company. So this courier company will have details like the scheduling time or dispatch details or the destination of the courier. All these details cannot be stored in standard objects, or it cannot be used in standard objects. So for that scenario, we have to create an object where we'll store the data that is unique to our business. And Salesforce also provides us with creating custom fields and standard fields in these custom objects. Now let's look at the key features that we get by using custom object. First one is page layout. So page layout is something where we can give access to users. What does that mean? So let's take a company where there are like 100 employees, but we want to show data to only 50 employees. So what do we have to do? We can use page layouts and give access to these 50 users to view or edit the data. The second one is creating or importing custom object records. So let's say we have a different Salesforce org which has uh, some records, and we want to import all those records to here, so we can do that. We can also create reports, dashboards to analyze these custom object data, and we can also create custom tabs. So custom tabs are nothing but this gives access to displaying the object data. The last one is creating tasks and events. So on these custom objects, we can actually create a task or event for future usage by the user. Now I hope you got some basic knowledge on what is an object and what are the different type of objects you have and what is a field, right? Now let's do a lab exercise here where we will create a custom object and we'll also create a couple of fields, and we'll see how it goes. So let's all open our developer org here. Let's go to top right corner, click on the screw, click on setup. Once you click on setup, you can see object manager here. Click on that. Now click on create on the top right, click on custom object. That's it. Now you can give your name of the object that you want to create. Let's say first, just copy paste this one here, give a description, first object, first custom object. That's it. So this one, so as I told you before, each object will have records, right? So you can give a custom name for the records that you're going to create. So this part we'll look at it in future, but you can just ignore this for now. So these are the additional features that Salesforce gives us right now. If you want to click, if you want to check all, you can check it all. Come down, click on save, and that's it. You have successfully created your custom object. So now let's create a couple of fields for this custom object. So what do you have to do? Go here, click on fields and relationships. Now as you can see here, you already have 4 fields. So as I told you before, Salesforce gives us with standard fields. So these are all the standard fields that Salesforce gives you. Now let's create our own custom field. New. So click on new. So in fields you have different types of data types. All these are the types of data types that you have for a field. So let's say you are creating a field which is a date, then you have to click on this. If you are creating a field which has an email, click on this. If you are creating a field which has a number, click on this. So I will make a different video to explain in detail of what are all the data types that we have in Salesforce in creating a field. But for now, just for testing, let's create a checkbox. So click on checkbox and go next. Now we want to give some name to that field. So what we're gonna give? So let's say first checkbox. And it's asking for your default value. What does it mean? When you open that record, if nothing is checked, or this is the default value that Salesforce gives. If you want the default value as checked, you can click on that as well, but I'll leave it as unchecked for now. And you can give your description here and any help text if you want to give. Click on next. Now, so for now you can just click on these two. So what these two does is, so this field, so who need to have access to this field. So this will tell you like for which profiles this field can be visible, or this field can be read only. So profile, what is a profile? I will tell you that in a different video, but for now just ignore this as well. Now it is asking for a page layout. So just click on that and just save. That's it. Now if you see here, you have successfully created your first checkbox here. Let's create one more field now. How do we do that? We are already in fields and relationships here. Let's click on new. Let's click on a currency, and next let's give a name of it. So let's say first dollar, and for currency this is a decimal amount, so let's say if you want currency to be 15.0001, then you have to give 3 here and reduce it to 15 and give some description, anything here, blah 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 and then go down. So required, what does it mean? So when someone or when any of your employees is creating a record, they have to enter the data in this field, right? When they're entering the data, let's say they hit on save button without entering any data in this particular field. So if you want to show an error at that time, then you have to click on required. So what does this mean? So it tells us that before saving the record, they have to populate this field. That's what this field tells us. So let's go next. That's it. Same thing. It shows what are profiles. The field is visible. Go next, and what is the page layout, and save it. So now you have successfully created 2 custom fields. But how do we access this particular object? For that, we have to create a tab. So let's go back to our screw to the top right corner, click on setup. Now just type in tab. Click on tabs. So now here you can see custom object tabs. Let's create one. So it is asking us for what object do you want this tab to be created. So let's look at our object. So first is our object now. So let's create that. Now here we can give a tab style. So it just a logo for the tab. So first let's take the first one, and that's it. Click next, and same thing, giving access to profiles. Click next and save it. Now you have created a tab as well, right? Now let's see where the tab is. Right here. So click on this one first. So I have named my object as first. That's why I'm seeing it as first. If you name it as different or any other name you have given to the object, you should find that object there. So I clicked on next. So right now this is the list view that we have. Let's create a record in the object. So now we have created an object, and we have also created the fields, but we need data in the object, right? So for that we have to create records. So how do you do that? Just click on new. If you observe here, these are the 2 fields that we have created, and this is the field that Salesforce provides us automatically. So let's say I'm giving it as JOHN, and I just want to store it as $21, and I'll try to save it. That's it. Now we have created a record in this object. Got it? So on the top right corner you can see this is a tab, and first is an object, and inside that object this is a record. So John is a record in that object. So I hope I was clear on explaining you guys what is an object and what is a custom object and what are the fields. Now let's look at the standard objects that Salesforce provide. So account, opportunities, leads, all these are standard objects. Let's go inside a single standard object. Let's go into accounts. Now click on the filter here. Let's just click on all accounts. So I told you we didn't create these records, or we didn't create this object, or we didn't create these fields. How did we get this? So that's why it's called a standard object, which Salesforce gives us um, out of the box. So let's go inside one record. Now you can see inside account we have a record named Burlington Textiles. Inside that record you have all the details. So now you know what is a custom object and what is a standard object, right? So guys, this ends our video today. Thanks a lot for watching. Please do subscribe and support this channel. Thank you.